As I go like that. So, hello, Linda.
Hello, Roxanne.
Hello, Ponderers. So, just before I came on, because we're waiting for everyone to get on, I did a little video and I talked about broccoli rabe. And I'm like, do I have broccoli rabe? If I have broccoli rabe in my teeth, let me know. Okay. In the comments. I will not be embarrassed. Thank you. Anyway, hi. We have lots of people here already. Um, Martha. Hi, Martha. I'm so glad you're here. This is Linda. Linda, this is your third time as a guest, right?
That's correct. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes. And Linda has some goodies for us that we're going to share in a minute or two. I'm just waiting for everybody to get in. And just as a reminder that this will post and anybody could go back and watch it whenever they want. So why don't we like get into it? Like, first, I wanted to know, Linda, if you could share with everybody why it is you were able to get these pictures and actually or photos and actually see things firsthand. Hi, Rona.
Well, I live in Caesarea, which is about 10 minutes away from Port Perry, which is Port Haven.
Right. I love it. So they turned Port Perry into Port Haven. You know what I think is funny? Well, how did they even come up with that? You think they were like scouting around looking for we need this, this, and this, and that's how it happened?
It's interesting because they're right down in the park where they film. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's a history of how who invented the park, and it's a lot like the story to me.
Really?
It is. It's a lot like the story, and the town is a lot um, like how they portray it in the show as well.
So the girls that write it, they're from Canada. Maybe that was like something in their minds that they said, like this was something that played around and maybe it was an inspiration. That's a question we'll have to ask them when we get to meet them one day, when they're not too busy and everything aligns correctly and it happens.
Yeah.
which we hope it will. So these photos that you took, when was this? Because we've been sitting on them. Hallmark asked me to hold off and now it's days away so we can, and they've already released some of their own things. So when was it that you were able to take these photos?
There were some that was in middle of July.
Hmm.
Were up, and then there were some when it was actually filming in 24th to the 27th of August, and
Wow.
in September.
Wow. So that they were there a while back and forth.
Back and forth.
I remember when we had Jefferson on Brown. I even think he said he was from the area. And didn't you pop on and say, so were you? And he's like, if you see me in the coffee shop, say hi. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah. He actually lives in the area. So I guess it's a well-known area. I'm gonna have to like Kathy and I are gonna have to do a little mini vacation, not a mini, maybe a long vacation and come check out everything. Canada has a lot to offer, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely,
Oh my
definitely.
gosh.
Yes, and
Yeah.
as well as Chris Thomas, Chris Reed, he lives
Yeah.
in the area as well.
Yes, he does. That's right. He
Yeah,
does too. Because we talked about that when he was on.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
He's
probably walked right by you.
didn't even know. That's right. We said that. That's right. I know. Well, now how could anybody walk by that man and not
Oh,
recognize that
I,
man?
I wouldn't walk by him. That's for sure.
I know. Well, not even right, right. Not even just that we wouldn't recognize him, just like, do a double take and you got to
Mhm.
admire the handsomeness that of him. And anyway, he also exudes as a human, not as an actor. I mean, not as the character. He exudes this he's like so genuine. He's the kind of guy that really, if you were standing in line with like getting coffee and you started to talk about something, or if he said, I liked your shoes, he really means it. Like, and if you went and told him a story about your shoes, he'd be like listening and into it. Like, he's such a cutie, such a
Yeah,
nice man, very
yeah.
nice guy. All righty. So, well, let's get into it. Hi, everyone. If you have questions as we go along, please feel free to, put them in the chat and then we'll address them. But I'm going to minimize us and we're going to go to the slide presentation. You know what? I think we all have to close our eyes so I don't make you dizzy because I have to go back to the beginning. There we go. So, Linda, you included this, and many people have seen this. And What was your reason for including this? And I put it up first.
Because in the wintertime, they take it away. They take the sign away, the awnings stay up, but there are so many people that come up to Port Perry that think that's an actual cafe that
Right.
I think they just took it down. So I knew when they put it up that they were coming back to film. So I included it as the first picture.
And this is how it looks in present day in the way home. This is where right? Is this the present day one, or is this from the past?
No, this is present day.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the one that Monica runs.
Yes, correct.
This is where you could get delicious coffee, and Dell sells her honey, and they make a delicious a turkey sandwich, I think, right? Yes. Like that's that what's the cutie patootie that you like, that you're hoping
Oh, Nick.
Nick, he said, "Oh, I miss them. I want one." And then we did a recipe for it too. And someone else was making a beautiful menu up for Friday, and I think she included turkey sandwich. I don't know if she used the one I added, but so this is. I remember when the actress who plays Monica, she was on, and she was telling us about it. So this is not. There's nothing even in it, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
sitting there waiting to be used for the show like it was meant to be. Okay, so now this is also present day, right? And we've got the two girls, Rita, and Dell walking. So they were on set, but this was when? September?
This was in September.
Okay.
They were
So
they were filming. It must have been you know how they do that outdoor market where
yes.
they sell their vegetables.
Yes.
It was all set up, and they were filming there.
Now, it's funny. I'm wondering, where do they stay? And I think I had asked this before. I think I've asked it of the actors themselves. You're right there. I mean, it's not like you got those big, tele lenses that you could take these photos. You're right there. And they block off the street from the everyday people, and just life goes on. I'm like, really? Do they have like security all around, and holding down the fort, or extra police? I don't know.
No, not at all. They don't block it off at all. Like, there are police there that
Mhm.
don't allow people walking right through the set.
Right, right.
Uh, People are driving around, and people are walking around, and they're just doing their thing.
Wow.
Lots of people watching.
It's pretty amazing.
Hmm.
I love it.
They do,
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
they do have a tent where they go in and they sit down, and the makeup artist kind of fix their hair, but yeah, it's very casual.
Yeah. So now these are real buildings that we know, these are real places where you live. And we were talking about earlier how these signs change a little bit when the film crew comes in. So the one that says Port Haven Real Estate, and then it has like a list of stuff. What can you tell us about that?
The real estate office is an actual real estate office, uh,
Cool.
and uh, it must be all of the dealings of the land being sold and not being sold
Hmm.
in the show, because they're now changing the sign from the existing real estate office to Port Haven. So
Which is cool, which helps us with the prediction.
that's right.
So, at the end of the story, it was like, "Oh, your land is saved," and Casey gave it, to them. But it seems like there's going to be more to this. Now, is this present day, or is this back in time? Obviously not the 1800s, but is it possibly the 1970s, or was this for present time? Or you
This,
don't know?
this you know what? This was in the although it could be present, because they don't actually have to shoot it, even though
Right,
they could be only shooting over at the Point Cafe, which is the Coyles. So
right.
show it, but it was the same day they were shooting the 70s.
Oh, so who knows?
Yeah,
It could be that if they're doing 2 things at one time, that makes sense. So we're not quite sure if this has anything to do with the '70s or is it present time, but it doesn't matter because we know it's somehow there, so it's significant.
exactly.
Right, which the land is significant, and then there's the Herald sign. Is that the same one they used before, or is that a different one?
No, exactly the same.
Same one.
Just I'm catching it from a different view, looking
Gotcha.
looking from another area. The door to go in is right beside that sign.
That's so cool. And then here you go with the other like shots of
They
the real estate.
they went to a great extent to change the signs on the existing real estate office.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming it's going to play a big part.
Yeah, it's not just something in the background. It's
That's
going to
right.
be a big deal. Okay. Anybody got any ideas what this big deal is going to be? We're kind of quiet in that chat. Usually people are jumping around. Rona, got any ideas? So one of our little tidbits is that somehow, some way, and I mean it makes sense. They always talk about the land, even in the first episode. I mean, the first series when Kat was struggling to write a story. When she finally wrote the story about the giant, was it cucumber or zucchini? Was zucchini? She talks about sort of the magic. I'm putting the word magic there of the soil and the earth. So they're always talking about the land. The land, is a portal. We all know that now in some way, shape, or form. So I'm not surprised that there'll be more with a good. Barbara tells me cucumber, more with the deal. I should know it's like my favorite food. I'm obsessed with cucumbers. We're scrolling. Oh, we're scouring the photos. Oh, Cindy's like, we're quiet because we're like looking. All right. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to the next slide. So now this is the point which you had showed earlier and how they turned it into the '70s hotspot. Right? Go ahead, tell us.
It's amazing. Awnings came down and new signs and new awnings went up. And I'm just thinking to myself, who does it belong to? Who runs it? That's what's on my mind.
Yeah. So Coils, we all know who has that last name.
Mhm.
And that was a sticker that was put on the guitar. And it's funny because in the clip that I shared, someone, it wasn't me who found it. It was sent to me, and we had permission to use it because it was something that was sent out to like news outlets, and we put it up. I know, Eats and Beats, so cute. And it's a clip of Allie coming home, and she's in her bedroom, and Kat is sitting there with her, and she's like, what did you do, how was it? And she was busy, and she's like, boy, busy, no mom, I was bit blah, blah. Anyway, she's taking out the guitar, and Kat looks down and she goes, Coils. She's like, yeah, that sticker's always been there. And she mentions it to Dell, her mom, what is Coils? And she goes, oh, when I first came here, it was like a dive, and we drank and we danced and we part. It's in a clip that's on the page.
Yeah,
So I just love how these writers take something so random as that sticker, which was not meant to start out that way, to
exactly.
create the character, give him that last name. The character was supposed to die and be done with and be the ghost in the lighthouse, and then at the end they decided, halfway through, to change their minds. That's why we have a little tweak on the very end, and now here he is in season 3. What
Right. It's amazing. You think back to season one how many times did we see that guitar with that word coil that we ignored completely?
I know. What do you think? So I remember you not calling me, but messaging me and telling me they're filming it's the '70s, and we couldn't say anything because I was like, let me check. I don't think we could say anything. And a lot of us predicted it, like in my car chronicles, they all predicted it. But so there they are, all dressed up, walking around the town. Those darn socks with the stripe that goes
Oh,
around, that cracks me up.
brought me back to my childhood, that's for sure, because I was the '70s.
Yes. So tell me, what do you see here? I was the '70s too. Tell me what you see here. What's like
Uh,
going on, or what we see here?
well, it looked like young Dell was looking in the window. Something was in there, and she was peeping in the window. and they did that scene over and over again, at least 3 times. So
Okay.
it must be an important.
So they kept going over and over the scene. I
Yeah.
love it. So how long did this stay like this set? How many weeks, days, what?
Oh gosh, we're only looking at maybe a day and a half,
Wow.
and they started at 7 in the morning and they were done at 11 at night. That
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. Barbara says what she was looking at was probably Colton in there.
Maybe.
um, Sherry says, I've always wondered why Coyle's name was on the Colton's guitar. Well, actually, it has to do something with guitars. That's a real stamp that it has something to do with guitars. And it's just so cool how the whole thing just worked out. And Cindy said, I always thought Coyle's sounded like a bar or restaurant. So pretty close. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It was the point, which is so cool because they're connecting the point like he worked in the point, like that's where they kept Kat when she got shot down in the basement, where Susanna was, that mercantile thing that she was running and he was a part of, and actually he was running stuff through it like rum and whatever. That is what was the point then, and somehow Coils gets like involved in the name. I'm just so excited to figure this out. Do you have any predictions, Linda,
Oh,
about
prediction.
this? About this?
Well, I'm thinking maybe is it Colton's father. Must
Oh,
maybe his parents.
somehow are involved with this. It could be. It could be a partnership because Colton's family was partnered and very close because of Jacob's relationship with Thomas. It could have gone through generations of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is interesting. And just when we think we figured it out, it's going to change.
I know. So we got more people walking through the town. And then you've got these beads here. What's this? What's that?
That was alongside of that sign for Foundry Day in 1974. That was in July that they had put this up, and I was thinking, oh, just knowing
Oh,
before I even saw the 70s and all of
that
their
hit.
like that,
Yeah.
it's the 70s for sure.
Did you I had a curtain. My young parents,
I
when they had me, they were 21 and 22, and we had a curtain like that in our house.
Mhm.
And we're gonna show them that poster. Yeah, we're gonna show
Oh,
them
we
the
haven't
poster.
haven't seen that yet.
Okay, so now there's just more of, we don't know if they're extras, exactly who they are having conversations.
This
Any
was it was a scene, the three of them, that was a scene they were filming.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyone want to take a gander or a guess as to what this could possibly be? Interesting clothing. I love the clothing though. Dear Lord.
I know.
I know. And then so this was a scene just like you had said, the scene of her looking in the window of the establishment. Did this one have so many takes and you
Couple. It was a couple.
could just stand out there the whole time and
I
be
Yeah, I was just standing out there looking all around and seeing what I could see, and
wow.
yeah,
Um Martha wanted to know, have you ever met any of the actors?
I
Or
haven't.
no.
There are chances for me to do it, but they're filming, they're doing their jobs, and I just stood back and just, did mine. Just kind of took pictures and
Yeah.
it's not an easy job. We see the end product on TV and it's just straightforward, but all these and
Yeah.
takes and the same thing over and over again and all day long. It's quite intense.
I think I cut you off when you started to talk about, I know I did, when you started to talk about the time frame. They started at 7 in the morning, you said?
Yes, they started on the 7 in the morning and
Mhm.
wrapped up at 11
At night?
at night. Yes.
Wow.
As we were coming, it was the day of where we're going to see the blue car. And it was a beautiful day in September, but 7 in the morning,
Wow.
we receive film notices that
Right.
film crew is going to be in town and they're doing this, and it's going to go from this time to this time. So make changes to your driving routes, or it'll
Okay.
be backed up a bit.
That's interesting. Long hours. That's why they're there for such a short amount of time and then they have a break, I guess. In this background here is the are the tents. So when I first saw this, I was like, oh, kind of looks like, when they had Founders Day or where they had Founders Day in that little area where the girls sell their, honey and their veggies and like the marketplace. But is that what that was, or you're not sure?
It wasn't Founders Day, but when in shows of past where Rita was there selling,
Mhm.
and Dell was there with her vegetables, and she gave Sam. It was kind of that.
Kind of vibe. Yeah. Okay. And there's the beads that we were talking about with the curtain beads. This is the Founders Day for 1974 though. So Founders Day was a big deal in not episode, in season 2. So it's probably going to be another big deal, I guess, in season 3. And look at the ship. It's like
Mhm.
a big part of it. It's free admission, 1974. And you thought this was a mistake when they put it up? Is that what you were telling me?
It they put the bees, that whole set was done in July, and I
Mm.
just happened to be in town and didn't think I didn't receive a notice that they were going to be filming. And then when I looked and saw 1974 Founders Day, I thought, oh well, that's a little soon to be putting it up. And sure enough, the day after, they took it all down. So
Oh,
I don't know whether it was, yeah. So
maybe they had the wrong week and people put things up and didn't realize, and then it should.
and
Oh,
then the Point Cafe came back
gotcha.
the next day.
Okay, so I got you. So maybe there was a little faux pas that happened. Someone didn't get the memo.
But
So
it was nice to know that we were going back in time this season.
yes, because at first they weren't saying anything, but
Yeah,
like we couldn't tell from those knee socks. Okay.
right. That's right.
Barbara says it was free in 1970. It was free in 74 because Rita wasn't there yet.
With
She
our
was. She
45
just wasn't in charge, right? Hello,
$45 tour of Ghost Town out in the forest.
Oh, hi, Ashley. Ashley's here. Okay. I love that. That's funny. All right. So now let's go on to this because this is exciting. I remember you telling me she goes back, meaning Alice.
Yes.
Alice takes a trip back, and there she is in that car. And I see somebody's legs. Obviously, somebody's on the other side of that vehicle.
The
Did
guitar is also in the vehicle.
say it again?
The guitar is in the vehicle.
Uh-huh. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
So she goes back with the guitar in that car.
In that car.
Well, she doesn't go back in that car because she travels through the pond, but somehow she gets in that car and has the guitar.
Right. Or the car was there. We haven't seen that car nowadays though.
No, so that car, it of course is back in the day, and I guess she didn't travel through the pond with the guitar. It's there for her when she arrives.
When she arrives. Correct.
Yeah, because remember when I think it was Kat tried to travel with antibiotics and it didn't work.
That's right.
All that stuff stayed back.
That's
All
right.
right, let's see. All right, there she is. She's got her outfit on and she's walking through. You get to see a little of everything here.
This
People in their outfits. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Linda.
this scene was done at least 3 to 4 times. Her getting in the car and getting out of the car. I don't know why, but this was another scene that was done quite a bit.
Do we get to see her go into the the beats and eats and beats coils or no?
No, no.
No. because I think that's all indoor stuff anyway. Maybe they go up to the door and then they flash and then we go to studio for that stuff. Pretty
Hmm.
cool though. So we know that she visits. It's not just I think Kat visits too.
That's right.
Yeah, or maybe hopes to visit. And I think there's a preview that says that Alice is stuck somewhere in time. Grace is here and she's saying that she just can't wait for season 3. So ready.
Well, that's good. Me too.
Yes, we're only days away. Now, I find this interesting. I
Hmm.
have some theories. So, this is Wally's truck, right? Is this what go
Noah,
ahead.
wasn't it Noah?
Oh,
That
Noah. But Noah, yes.
Noah. Yeah,
But his grandfather is Wally, right?
correct.
Now, is this from present day or is this the past? Because it's been around for a long time, the truck.
I put the pictures in order, so I'm not entirely sure. Uh, what pictures were right before these pictures?
Me, when you sent me this, okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold the phone. So while I'm looking, hold the phone, such an old way to put.
I actually think it was in the 70s because
Okay,
I walked through the park. I walked through the park, and that's when I took pictures of the truck. I thought, oh gosh, here's the truck. And that's when I went up. And so I'm pretty sure it's the 70s.
all right. So here's what happens. Okay, I've got Alice, the one of Alice walking in the with the burgundy kind of colored shirt and the blue car, and then there's the two guys with the yellow shirt and it looks like maybe I'm not sure a female having a conversation. Then it's the car scenes again, but then you've got Dell and Rita in present time walking by. And no, is that for yes, that's how you did it. And then you have the truck. You have the truck here, and then you have the truck again later on. So when it still says Coils Eats and Beats. So
I'm pretty sure it was the 70s. I spent more time. I spent more time in the 70s.
okay, traveling through the 70s.
Yeah,
Okay.
did.
All right. So what I find interesting is that we're going to get that history. And I know there's a point where they showed a preview where not Dell, Kat is they want to give is it Kat a ride? I think it was Kat who they wanted to give somebody a ride. Was it Kat? Anyway, the person had long hair. I'm like, what if that's Wally? What if that's Wally Young owning the truck? I don't know. I'm not sure. That would be like he had real long hair. Somehow we've got him all tied up in this with Noah, which I'm like, oh, I hope we get more answers and not more questions.
That's right. That's
So
right.
we're gonna see this too, which is cool. Okay.
Yes.
And this, I think, is the biggest, oh my goodness, of all, which I hope I did not ask for permission for this. So we're just going to let it fly because we
All
could just.
right.
So it's in the past because we can see the coils up sign up there. And this is a what? What were they filming?
They were filming a funeral procession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a funeral procession, but we don't know who died. But apparently somebody significant dies in the 70s. That has to do with the storyline.
Hmm.
And there they are filming it.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll see. Anybody got any ideas on this? Barbara says, I just wondered that too, if that was Wally. I know something about that. I was thinking it was. So we've got someone who passes away in the 70s, and there is the funeral procession. Was it a long procession? I only see 3 cars. They'll CGI that one.
That was it. But they did it a couple of times.
Okay. And that blue truck, is that the blue truck that's old and used in later on that was Colton's truck?
Wasn't Colton's uh a creamy color with like a light peach?
No, I thought
No,
there was a blue truck involved that had to do with Colton's family back then. I could be wrong. Hmm, I don't know. The people here would know more than we would, but apparently someone significant passes away in the 70s, and we're going to see that. Dell has the blue one. That's it. Dell. I knew somebody has a blue one.
Dell.
So
Mm.
Dell. Oh, maybe Dell's parents or somebody in her family dies.
We never did hear about Dell's parents. So
Not too much. Not too much. Just yes, she's not from up there. She's from the Carolinas. That much we know. So that'll be interesting. Wow. Okay. So what are some of your predictions? I want to hear everyone type in a prediction, especially from what you just saw. Give me at least one so we can share. What about you, Linda? What
well,
is your prediction?
prediction, no. Desire. I would like to see young Nick with Alice again.
I know you're
I
not alone.
go
I'm
back.
like, that's so icky. I don't want to talk about that ickiness.
I know you keep
Barbara,
saying it.
look at Barbara. She thinks she knows, but she's not going to say. Why?
I
Why
know.
not?
Not
Why
going to
not?
hang on here. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I know. So that's a wish for them to get
Yeah.
together. But what's a prediction that you have?
Prediction.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, every time I think something, I don't like to say it because, you know, who knows? Who knows? No predictions. I just enjoy watching and going, oh, yes, okay. Now it makes sense.
This is the most brilliant prediction of all. Thank you, Sherry. We're going to find out more of Colton as a teenager.
That's right. That's a good.
That's a good prediction, a safe prediction, Sherry. And Barbara's like saying, yes, Nick and Alice. And I'm like, no, I don't want any Nick and Alice. No.
Nick is so much fun. His personality is fun and he just brings Alice alive. So
Young Nick.
I know they can't be together, but maybe they can go to an era where they're closer in age, right?
Young Nick.
Young Nick. Hey, if Blake Lively can be 11 years younger than Ryan Reynolds, never say never.
Well, there's all kinds of age differences, but yeah, all over the place. But
not on a family show.
yes, it's just not like that's just like a bit much, but that's okay.
It's
That's
icky.
yeah. But look, they're talking about future Alice. Here you go. We opened up the can of worms. They're coming on.
Yes.
Rona, we're not even going to say that word. Okay, Rona, we don't say that word. Somebody new to the fan page tried to post an article repeatedly, and I declined it about and I wrote and said why we don't say that word because it rips apart fandoms. But we absolutely, I even wrote in there, I said, but we absolutely adore, what is it, Calliot and Tomcat. Those are Tomcat's such a funny name. I love it. We support those things. You could talk all about your favorite, couples. That's fine, but we're not talking about the because that was our rule, Kathy and I said from the get-go, because it causes such controversy and just takes the fun out of everything. So, Linda, did you want to share anything else before I do a few housekeeping things, and then we'll say goodnight?
When you go, what do you
What?
Just back up for which? Yeah, triangle.
You're not allowed to say that word, Linda.
Oh, that was the word?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oops.
What in the world, girl? It's okay. No, okay. I was asking if you wanted to add anything to what we showed before I do any of my housekeeping things.
No, we're good. We're good. I hope
we appreciate it. We love when you get to come on. I think you're our guest that we've had on the most.
Oh my.
Yeah, you're
having me. I enjoy it.
I love it. We don't like the shape. Thank you, Rona. We no like it. That shape. So anyway, real quick before we go, and if anyone has a question, you can ask. On Friday nights, for those of you that are on X, want to get on X, are interested in X, you could loathe it and we're okay. We understand, don't get on. But we do a tweet fest, and we have specific hashtags. Allie puts something up for us. We even have a little how-to video on there too, of like people were asking questions, and you put something up. You can requote what people say and then use those hashtags, just because this is how um, Nielsen collects data for Hallmark, and they use that platform. People are like, use a different platform. Unfortunately, there isn't one right now. You want to go have like share your stuff wherever you want, that's not a problem, but we're trying to do this to get it to trend, and it helps out with ratings. That's on Fridays. We're going to do it every single Friday, and the fun part is that the Way Home's official account is there, and they'll interact. Hallmark Channel interacts, Hallmark Plus interacts, as do the actors, and they'll interact with you, which is cool. So we practiced 2 weeks in a row, 2 Fridays in a row, and I got some interaction with some of the people. And a really cool one for Allie was Sadie took her whole post and wrote, I couldn't have said it better. And then, requoted her stuff, which was fun. And it's just like fun. Like if you're that much of a ponderer, you're like all excited because you all feel like you're swimming in the pond together. And then on on Tuesday night, so the newer episodes, it depends upon where you live. You can either be watching it on Friday nights or Saturday nights or Sunday nights. So Kathy and I will be together. Our podcast logo looks a little different. It's in earth tones, and I think I shared, and it still says chat with Kathy and Roxanne. We are going to be on Tuesday nights at 8. I think we did that last year too. So we'll be on Tuesday nights at 8, recapping live, and you can add stuff and we'll add stuff. And hopefully we'll get to have some of the cast, the crew, the writers, whoever come on, whoever, is available, and the stars align and it all works, and we're like blessed with it. We'll have it. That's Tuesdays. And then also, I wanted to take a note for everybody is when the show is premiering and we're watching, people right away want to put these posts up. We will not allow them to be posted until they'll just sit there. They'll sit there. If you put it up on a Friday, it's going to sit until our noon Eastern time. When I say ours, it's because Rona, myself, Chris, and Christina, we usually are the people that approve it. Sometimes Kathy approves it, and Kathy is like 1 hour behind us. So at noon Eastern time, we will approve all of them. But if you're so excited, you can also jump in that chat that we have, and you could just start talking up the storm at right away, and putting out whatever you want, because all those people that are in there know that there's going to be spoilers. So don't go in there if you don't want. You don't want to be spoiled. Okay. All right. People are saying, what time on Friday? Because that's also when the show airs. Oh, it's during the same time. So I think Allie is putting up like 8 Central, or is she doing Central or Eastern? Here's my suggestion, Barbara. When we do this when we have Tweet Fest events, if the show is at 9, we try to do like an hour before and an hour after, and it really does trend. But sometimes I'm busy, so I start really early on and people see it and then they just requote it. So I think the heavy duty is, let's say, 8 Eastern to 10 Eastern, we're going to say, if that helps. If anyone has more questions, just ask. All right. Martha says, very interesting. Thank you. Where is this town located up in Canada? You want to tell them again, Linda?
In Port Perry, Ontario.
In Port Perry, Ontario. We had a little glitch. That's why I repeated it.
Which is probably about 45 minutes to 60 minutes from Toronto.
Cool. Okay. Sherry is saying, thank you, Linda. And Cindy says that you had great photos. She was very excited that you shared.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right, Ponderers. Well, we'll see you soon, right? Yeah. All right. We'll say goodnight, and then you'll wait when I end the podcast and you and I can say goodnight. All right, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.